The foolproof method every busy parent can use to get lean and look great every time, guaranteed. Hey everybody, this is Mike Erlob, and you're on another episode of Power Your Life by Flex PT. It's really great to see everyone. You know, today I wanted to take some time and I wanted to share with you what I found to be the best foolproof method that you can use to get lean, look great as a busy parent. Now, the method I'm going to talk about, this method works even if you have no time. And we all know as busy parents, none of us have any time. It works even if you've tried other methods and failed. And it works even if you just don't know where to start to lose weight. So this is the method that actually I use personally. It is safe, it's proven, and it's highly effective. And it's what's known as the intermittent fasting method. So the intermittent fasting is a great way to lose weight, get more energy, and improve your mental focus. So how great is that? You know, if you do something where you're losing weight, you're getting more energy, and you're improving your mental focus and your mental clarity. And we could all use that. Now, all it takes is not eating for a little while. And there's a lot of different ways that people practice intermittent fasting, but really to keep it simple, what I want to do is I'm just going to talk about one of the easiest ways that you can use to get started. And after we talk about that, I'm going to share with you my top 10 tips to make it even more effective. The type of intermittent fasting that is most often recommended for beginners is what is referred to as the 16 and 8 method. Okay, now basically what this is the idea is to fast or not eat for 16 hours. That's it. And then you have all of your meals for the day in the remaining 8 hours. Now, I know you might be thinking, oh my gosh, Mike, how can I not eat for 16 hours? You know, I mean, that would kill me. It's not nearly as hard as it sounds, okay? So, for example, you could have a late breakfast at, say, 10 a.m., and then you just go about your day, and then you would eat your dinner at 6 p.m., and then you would be done, and you just wouldn't have anything else until 10 a.m. the next day. So really, you know, the time that you start eating and the time that you stop, that time really doesn't matter as long as there's just that 8-hour window, and then you go 16 hours without eating. So it sounds pretty easy, doesn't it? So it is easy on paper, but trust me, when you start to practice intermittent fasting, you're going to run into some roadblocks, okay? I'm speaking from experience. You're going to find yourself craving that snack. You're going to find yourself waking up hungry. So what I've done is I've put together my 10 best tips that I have found, which will help you make it through those fasting hours successfully. So here's tip number 1. Cut the sugar out before you start, all right? So this right here is probably the biggest thing that new and experienced intermittent fasters struggle with is the sugar cravings and withdrawal symptoms, all right? So our bodies get really accustomed and almost addicted to that sugar. So that sugar is hidden everywhere. It's hidden not just in like the carbs that you eat or think about the cookies and cake, but it's hidden as sweeteners. It's hidden all over in all of the foods. So what happens is, you know, your body just gets really addicted to it. And it isn't so much when you get these sugar cravings, it isn't so much that you're really hungry, although, you know, that's what your body's trying to tell you. It's really more about just the cravings. You know, it's just that you're craving a piece of candy or a piece of cake. So the best way to deal with this is prior to you going on your fast is to just start cutting back as much sugar as you can from your diet. And you know it's not good for you. You know sugar's not good. You know, so take a week and just start weaning yourself from soda and the sweet coffee drink habit. Empty out the cookie jar, stop eating the ice cream late at night as a snack, and then once you've eliminated a good majority of the sugar in your diet that you've been consuming, now you're ready to get started with your fast. So now you've started to lay that groundwork and you've set yourself up for success. So tip number 2, stay well hydrated, okay? When you're fasting, water is your best friend. Not only is it going to keep you full And quite frankly, it's going to give you something to do when you're not eating. It will also help you keep your energy and help you to continue to function throughout the day. You see, the main reason that so many people will start to feel bad and get headaches when they're fasting is because they are starting to get dehydrated. So make sure that you're drinking plenty of water. And not only will that help you maintain your hydration levels and get rid of your headaches, but it's going to help your body burn through that excess body fat for energy. Tip number 3, make sure to get plenty of sleep. Now, I kind of talked about this last week, and I can't stress enough how important this is. It is so extremely important to get plenty of quality sleep any night of the week, but in particular when you're fasting. So when we're tired and sleep deprived, it is so much harder to make those smart decisions. You know, your willpower goes down. You're going to find yourself drawn to those cookies or chips in a vain effort to stay awake. So going to bed a little early, it'll help keep you from that late night snacking temptations. And then of course, the other benefit is it's going to keep you more alert during the day. Tip number 4, go for a walk. Sometimes the best thing that you can do when you're struggling with your fasting is just to go out and take a walk. It takes you away from your fridge and pantry, and it really gets you thinking about something other than the food. You know, you just got to get your mind off of it. Plus, walking or any type of other exercise is going to boost, it's going to increase your endorphins, and it's really going to make you feel a lot better. Now, and I don't know about you, but most of us could really stand to move around a little bit more. So instead of breaking your fast and fixing a snack, try going for a walk around the block. Tip number 5, coffee and tea are your friends. Now, coffee and herbal teas are going to be your best friends during fasting hours. So when you get up in the morning, drink a big cup or 2 of black coffee. You know, that's going to fill you up enough that you're really not going to miss breakfast. Now, don't add any sweetener to it, no cream, no sugar. Don't go to Starbucks and get yourself that giant, mocha latte with all of the whipped cream and everything on it. That just defeats the purpose, okay? We're just talking about straight black coffee. Now, herbal tea works really well at night, especially if you're a snacker. And again, we're talking herbal tea. We're not talking about sweetened tea with all the sugar and everything else. But the other thing that it does for you is it'll help you go to sleep. And that warm tea, it makes you feel more full. So that helps you through the night. So it gives you something tasty to sip that fills your belly. Now, try these things and see if that isn't enough to keep you from grabbing your favorite snack before you go to bed. Tip number 6, time flies when you're staying busy. We all know that's true. Time flies when you're having fun. There's so much truth to that. You see, the worst thing that you can do when you're first starting to fast is to keep your eye on the clock. Counting down the hours until it is time to eat again just does not work. That didn't work well back in the day when you were in high school waiting for the bell to ring, and it doesn't work well now either when it comes to fasting. Instead, find something to keep you busy. Go meet a friend for coffee, read a good book, watch a movie, just bury yourself in your work. It doesn't matter what you do, but just stay busy and that time is going to start to fly by. Tip number 7, when you eat, savor your food. Okay, so when it is time to eat, trust me, you're going to be tempted to eat something and eat it really fast. But you are not starving to death. Instead, take your time. Fix something you really like. Take your time preparing it and arranging it on your plate. Sit down at the table and savor your food. Chew it more slowly. Eating is as much a visual and tactile experience as it is about the nutrients you're getting into your body. So by taking your time, savoring your food, you will satisfy that part of you until it is time to eat again. I really recommend you give it a try and see if this will help you stick to your fasting schedule. And as a bonus, it really helps you enjoy the food that you just prepared and are eating. So tip number 8, get out of the house and get away from the temptation. Now, I know that's a little bit hard right now with the world we're living in with, COVID, but we all are going to have days where fasting is hard. I mean, really hard. And all we want to do, and you're sitting there on your couch and you just want to raid the fridge, you want to raid the freezer. Tell you what, when you start feeling that, and that fridge, that freezer, that cookie jar, it's calling your name, and you can just hear it calling your name. The best thing to do when that happens is to get out of the house and get away from that available food. Of course, you don't want to head down to your favorite coffee shop or restaurant, but instead you do what you can to stay away from the food. Now, we already talked about going for a walk. That's a great option. You could also go for a drive. You just need to distract yourself long enough to allow your willpower to come back. Now, tip number 9. This is one of my favorites. Save yourself a special treat. Okay? Here's a great little trick, and it works for many fasters. When you see a special treat that you really want to have, okay, go ahead and get it, but then save it, all right? Don't eat that right away. So instead of telling yourself, no, you can't have that cupcake, tell yourself that you can have it, but not right now. You're on that fast, okay? Don't take it away completely, because that's a surefire way that you're going to want that, you're going to want it even more and more. It just seems like it's like, with my kids, when I tell them no, they can't play on their video game, I mean, they find all kinds of ways to circumvent that, and they want that, even more. And of course, this is in moderation too. So I'm not saying that you go out and you eat a dozen cupcakes. We're talking about one. One here and there is not going to hurt you if it's outside of your fasting time. But just allow yourself that little treat. Making yourself wait for your favorite food is much easier than giving it up for good. The same thing can work for pizza or your favorite takeout. Obviously, you wouldn't go and get it right away. Instead, you would just make a deal with yourself that, you can order that Chinese food later in the afternoon when your fast is over. So that brings us to tip number 10. And that is stick to the same schedule. We are all creatures of habit, and we will adapt to a particular schedule if we stick to it for a while. So for example, if you get up every morning and eat breakfast right away, your body gets used to that, and then you find yourself waking up hungry. However, if on the other hand, you stick to a schedule where you don't eat until 11 a.m. and you have your last meal by 7 p.m., after your body gets used to that, you won't wake up hungry, and after a while, you won't even crave that late night snack before bed. Your body will learn that food is something to expect between the hours of, for example, of 11 a.m. and 7 p.m. roughly. That's why it is so important to stick to the same schedule when you fast intermittently. It will keep you from getting hungry during your fasting hours, and it makes it so much easier to stick to your plan. Now, I really hope that these tips have been helpful for you. I'd really like you to give them a try and, see if you can fast intermittently and see what works well for you. You're not going to have to follow these tips all of the time, but I would keep this list handy for those days where you're really struggling. And then after a while, what'll happen is eating this way will start to become the new normal for you. Now, I just wanted to throw a little plug out there. Our new program, the 4-week weight loss system for busy moms and dads that I've been talking about recently, it will be available soon. More details will follow. I want to remind everybody that I will be live on Thursday at 1 p.m. Until then, I want you to stay healthy, keep moving forward, and I will see you soon.